Hello, it's 1111 Oracle, and today we're going to do a pick a card reading on what's coming up romantically for you. So, if you're single, who are you attracting into your life? What are the energies around that? If you're in a couple, then what's next in your partnership. So let's get to it. Here are the crystals. So for number 1, rose quartz. Number 2, chrysoprase. Very earthy. It looks like it comes straight from the forest, is embedded in the crystal. Okay, number 3, you have this awesome crystal that is unnamed, so you can give it your own name if you like. We'll call it, I have no idea. I'm bad at giving names to random things. So anyway, here's number 3. Okay, so now that you know what your crystal is, go ahead and click on the timestamp associated with that crystal, number 1, number 2, or number 3. So, high number 1 with the rose quartz. Rose quartz is a beautiful crystal. Okay, I'm going to put it in the background here. Just hanging out with us. So rose quartz is all about love, but it's more about self-love, motherly love, compassionate love, very soft love. It's not about, passionate, romantic love per se. It can be, but what I'm intuiting right away is that number 1 that you need to focus on, whether you're with someone or you're not, and we'll get into that in a minute, you're with someone or not, the main thing that you want to do in order to attract love towards you is to start off with developing healthy self-care practices for yourself, getting the sleep that you need, eating right, treating yourself well. All of this goes into the realm of self-love. And if you don't take care of yourself, then you might actually draw away prospective partners, or your partner may just feel a little bit more closed off to you. So that self-love is so important to really not just attract, but grow the love that you already have in your life, right? Whether that is with a partner or others or the self. So self-love, just as an initial message, is something that everybody needs to focus on, but you especially might be feeling particularly down in this time period right now. It could be a very difficult time period for you, going through a possible breakup, I'm hearing, for some of you, and you're asking yourself, why me? What's wrong with me? Well, here's the thing. The only thing that's wrong with you is that you're not spending enough time loving yourself, right? There's nothing wrong with you. That's what you have to understand. Sometimes people aren't meant to be, they're not a good match, or it's not the right time. So it's nothing about you per se. It's that, life, the universe, whatever, is trying to teach you a lesson that you come first, and then you will attract others. I hope that makes sense and resonates. Let's get to your reading with the cards. So I absolutely love this deck. We're going to start off. We're going to pull a couple of cards from this deck. Actually, we're going to pull 3 cards from this deck. If you can see that, the Fairy Tale Oracle, and I'm going to use this in future if you're interested as like a fun pick a card to see what fairy tale character you might be. If you're interested in that one, let me know in the comments down below. I'm just, you know, I've always loved everything to do with fairy tales, and I thought it would be very appropriate for our love reading. Of course, real fairy tales are quite not the nicest, but either way, we'll talk about all the fluffy, lovey stuff with the fairy tales. We're not going to go into the original Brothers Grimm, violent, and etc. fairy tales. We're going to stick with the lovey-dovey stuff. Okay, so I'm going to shuffle the cards for you. I'm going to shuffle the deck, and I'm going to pull out 3 cards. This one. That is very easy, wasn't it? Okay. Very clear and concise message of what is coming up for you. You have the 12 dancing princesses. You have Hansel from Hansel and Gretel. Oh, isn't that interesting? And you also have Gretel. Oh, okay. Very cool. Okay. So the word for the 12 dancing princesses is enchantment. Hopefully you can see that well. And then for Gretel, it's ingenuity. Oh, come on, Gretel. All right, and then Hansel has survival. So this may not... My plants may be in the way. Let's try that. All right, they're peeking through the leaves. Okay, which makes sense because Hansel and Gretel had to go in the forest, right? So let's just start briefly with the story just to, you know, get a good background information on that, and then we can extract messages from the stories of the fairy tales to apply to your love situation. So Hansel and Gretel, as you know, okay, they were two, brother and sister, and their father brought them to the woods because the stepmother didn't want them anymore. So many stepmothers in fairy tales were depicted as being evil. It's probably, makes sense. Fairy tales were originally very sexist, but that's another note for another day. Either way, she didn't want them anymore. She left them in the forest. Right, and so they had to kind of figure things out on their own for a while. They found this house made of candy, which was this house that, really was meant to lure in children so that the witch who lived there could then eat them. Of course, it didn't work out in the witch's favor because they found a way to push the witch into the oven. That was Gretel who did that. Okay, they're both very, very intelligent, very smart children. So right away, I'm getting that you are very intelligent and crafty yourself, and you have these ingenious ways of getting out of tough situations. Your significant other, and I'm going to talk about that in a moment, coming in or already present, has these same or very similar qualities to you. You're like 2 peas in a pod, very similar to each other in many ways. Almost like a brother and sister kind of energy, except obviously not. So the 12 Dancing Princesses is not as well known as the other fairy tales. The 12 Dancing Princesses talks about 12 sisters who were princesses, and they wanted to escape their daily dull, monotonous waking life. And they didn't necessarily want to be married off to whomever, right? They didn't want to be involved in any kind of forced arrangement that the king and the queen would have to set for them. So every evening, they would put on these dancing shoes and escape into this other like fairy realm where they would basically dance all evening and have a wonderful time. And the royal court, the king, was always baffled by how tired they were always, because they didn't really sleep. So you may not be getting a lot of sleep, and or you may be having a lot of really, really intense, intricate dreams lately, possibly dreams to do with drawing in your perfect partner. And you may have these very vivid dreams where you see your partner, if you haven't already met them, in your dreams, and or you see your partner in your dreams anyway. So what I'm getting with this reading, and whoops, I'm always knocking this stand, sorry. So what I'm getting with this reading right away is that I would say I'm getting like 60-70% of you, if not more, are in relationships. So for the most part, you're in a relationship. There's a loose number where it's kind of in between. It's like this limbo, you are sort of, but you're not. And even if you're kind of in separation, you're still thinking about each other, you're not seeing other people, or you're just, very in touch, and it seems like you're not really separated at all, even though you are. Okay, so there's different things going on there. With the other smaller percentage of you, you are not in a relationship for this particular, for the Rose Quartz group. And you are dreaming of this person, and for whatever reason, okay, I feel that this person is very close, around the corner, if you have it, if he's not, he or she is not already in your life, okay, and I'm going to use they, if they are not already in your life, they are right around the corner. However, there's a lesson with the 12 dancing princesses. Eventually, they got caught. There was a servant who found out what they were doing every night, that they were escaping into this fantasy realm. And of course, the king put an end to that, unfortunately for the princesses, and married off the youngest one. Okay? So, as I said, originally the fairy tales most of the fairy tales originally had these kind of odd endings, or there's this, it's not always fair. It's not like original fairy tales are probably, don't have as much in common with Disney as you might think. But we're going to take, all fairy tales originally are very dark. We're extracting the positive messages. Remember, I said lovey-dovey, so... The message that we're extracting here with the 12 dancing princesses is that, it's great to dream and fantasize about the perfect love, but at one point you got to get your head out of the clouds, okay? If you notice, with Hansel and Gretel, they're very present. So you have this dichotomy of two energies here. You have this inclination to be in your head and to daydream and just to be in the clouds and fantasize and dreaming up your perfect, guy, girl, right? But at the same token, in order for this love to manifest, you need to be present with yourself, okay? Situations in your past have kind of, I don't want to say, it's like two words coming to my head and I'm like, no, those aren't the right words. Sometimes I don't always have the right words to say what I'm feeling and thinking. I feel like vocabulary is so limited sometimes. How do I put this? So you had I feel like you had to grow up really fast when you were a kid. You had a situation where either you had to grow up and take care of your parents, or you had to grow up emotionally and become emotionally very strong at a very young age, and you're sort of forced to do so. And it's kind of created this parallel within you so that you have one side of your personality that still very much longs to just escape into La La Land, right? I totally feel you on that one. And then the other side of you is very, very present and very grounded and very here and now, okay? So you know that in order to manifest this perfect love, when I say manifest a perfect love, this could be, since it's a general reading, someone who, if it's not someone in your life, then manifesting would be drawing in a new person. If it is someone in your life, then manifesting love into your life would be just, you know, growing the love within your already existing relationship. Because even if you're in a relationship, love might stagnate and it may not always be so obvious that it's there, if you know what I mean. So I'm getting your partner, like I said, I want to say twin flame, okay? That's what I got from the beginning, and I'm not gonna question that. I feel very strongly for all of you that the relationship that you are meant to be in is this twin flame relationship. Or you may already be in your twin flame connection right now. And this person is, if you're the girl, then, or if you have more of the feminine, more feminine energy, more feminine qualities to you, to your personality, then the more masculine component to you is a little bit more quiet and withdrawn. Okay, and vice versa, if you have the more masculine energies, or you're the guy in the relationship, then your feminine counterpart is not so much withdrawn, maybe a little shy at first, but kind of very street smart. I'm getting very quick-witted. That may be you if I'm talking about you, and you're the feminine energy and masculine energy. Anyway, take what resonates with from that reading. If you have the feminine energy, you put on this tough exterior, but you're actually quite sensitive on the inside, hence the longing to be in touch with your inner child. And if you have the masculine energy, well then you are it's almost like I can't, how do I put this into words? I see you like just kind of walking down the street, observing everyone, but also kind of being in your head at the same time and making like in real life kind of commentary on what's happening, sort of like you're comparing what you see to things that you know within you. More quiet, so you don't share a lot if you have the masculine energy. And even though you don't share a lot, people don't think that you pay attention to what's going on, but you do. You're very observant. And you can kind of, the masculine energy is the kind of energy that can easily hide within a crowd. But that's kind of like your superpower, because then you can just like easily get in and out of situations. Okay, very sharp. And you have to be, because part of your past was about surviving, right? Hansel is about survival, right? That's his word. Gretel's ingenuity. She's very quick, smart. She survives in a different way. She was more face to face with whatever the situation and the trauma was. And she had to learn how to adapt quickly and find quick solutions, right? That's what I'm getting. With the male masculine energy, or I should say masculine energy, not male masculine energy, you were able to get out of situations by, I'm gonna make like, it's like this, right? Like you're like, do you even see what I'm doing? I have no idea. Okay, it's like you're like if something's coming at you on the right, then you quickly shift over to the left. And if something's coming at you on the left, then you quickly shift over to the right. And you're just like very quick that way. And you're able to really very quickly get out of situations and avoid any kind of confrontation. All right, you're very good that way. So that I'm just describing the feminine and the masculine. Okay, and you might find even that you have a mixture of both of those energies, and that's fine, because we all exhibit a mixture of feminine and masculine qualities within us. But so what I'm getting is that when you guys meet, it'll just be like like, oh, like everything coming together. You know, everything will make sense. You'll just get each other. You'll have each other's backs, and you'll be like two peas in a pod. Really like best friends, but it's almost like you both will have like a telepathic communication within each other. You just like read each other's thoughts to a certain degree. It may not be literally reading each other's thoughts. It could certainly be the case, but it's more of a situation of like you just know each other, you just get each other, you can look at each other, you know exactly what the other one wants, or you just understand exactly what the other one's thinking, and you kind of just move together. It's just so smooth the way you guys move together. Very good communication between the two of you, which is funny because I don't see you guys talking a whole lot, just because the masculine counterpart is a little bit more quiet. But it's like when I say communication, I'm talking about the chemistry too, that symbiotic sort of relationship that your energies kind of have together, the way your energies mesh together. That's also a communication, even if it's on a subtle level and you don't use any words. So that's what I mean by your communication. Your communication, the way your energies communicate to one another, is very fluid, very natural. And this relationship that you have existing with this person, or this person coming into your life, is very, very just like unlike anything that you've ever sort of felt and experienced before. Like I said, two peas in a pod. You're so nicely matched. And by being together, you're also going to open that portal of communication with your inner child. You both have a very quirky sense of humor. You're both very imaginative in your own ways, although I see the feminine counterpart as being more like street smart, as I said. A little bit more good with money, business, that kind of thing. The masculine energy is more artistic. Maybe likes to draw, music, the painting, drawing. I'm hearing comic books, like drawing anime or stuff like that as well. Take what resonates, of course. But you guys are going to open a portal for each other where you're going to allow each other to explore the sort of forgotten or put aside inner child that you weren't always able to express. And you're going to feel giddy around each other. You're going to feel like, you're going to feel this sort of almost feeling of upliftment and feeling lighter than air. And it's going to be the weirdest feeling, and you're not going to know where it's going to come from. It's going to make you laugh. It's going to make you guys really, really close and tight. But you just have to trust the feeling. Don't question a good thing too much, right? Just go with it. You guys are really meant for each other, is what I'm seeing and feeling and hearing. Lovely. I love it. I love it. I'm going to pull some more cards from another deck. Just my good old reliable tarot deck. Nothing too fancy or pretty, but I've been using this forever, so it's like I always get really accurate messages. I feel like the longer you use a tarot deck, you develop like a relationship with it almost, if that makes sense. Okay, I don't know what I'm saying. All right, so pulling out this and this. And just two, I'm hearing. Just two. Stop while you're ahead, I hear, for me. Just two. Okay, so 8 of Cups and Temperance. Nice. Oh, so you guys have some stuff. Okay, sorry, I keep doing that. You guys have some like roadblocks to get over with each other, and you need to leave your past behind. In order for this relationship to work out, whether it's future, something coming in, or a relationship that you are in right now, in order for it to work out, you need to leave that traumatic incidents, those traumatic events from the past behind. And it's not that you don't honor them by understanding the messages that you can take out of them and recognizing how strong you are for going through those experiences. But you can't keep reliving the same emotional, experience over and over again, because that's not going to serve you. And if you guys are both like escape artists, I'm hearing. You sort of have learned to cope by just escaping your issues through art, which is not necessarily a bad thing, right, for the masculine counterpart, because it certainly influences a lot of your beautiful creative art, right? A lot of artists have gone through lots of stuff, all kinds of dark experiences, and those are some of those artists who have gone through the darkest experiences are some of the most brilliant artists too. But in order for the relationship itself to work, you can't just keep playing these same like escape tactics with each other. Since you're both like escape artists, you're almost like both escaping from each other, which, by the way, is quite normal for a twin flame relationship, and I'm going to explain why in a moment. Temperance, I want to specifically talk about temperance. Temperance is about balancing things out. You can interpret this in all kinds of ways. In your particular case, and mostly I like to, and I'm going to put this over top here. Okay, temperance is all about, for me, and especially in this case, well, actually a couple of things. You see two things. One thing is that you both are learning or are going to learn how to balance out your differences. This is very important in a relationship. You have two people colliding and coming together. You need to learn how to work harmoniously and get past your stuff, right? Get past your stuff, because it's only going to pull each other down and it's only going to pull each other apart. So you're learning how to balance each other's energies in order for you guys to, like this, right? You're learning how to balance the energies so you can fit perfectly together. It's not always going to be perfect, but you need to have a harmonious communication on average, right? And everybody has their quirks, so you need to be, also honest with what quirks you accept from the other person. Is it a bad habit? Maybe don't accept that bad habit and you need to talk about it. So the other thing I want to say about temperance is that you're also within yourself have to balance out, different experiences you've had, different aspects of your personality, and learn to come into a better alignment with yourself. Meaning, when I say come into a better alignment with yourself, I'm talking about coming into sort of this, balance, for lack of a better word, where you're grounded and you're practical and in touch with the real world, but you also foster your creative side and you don't forget about that. You don't forget about your inner child, and you're, developing your own intuitive abilities inside to you, but you don't forget the logical approach to things, which, if one or the other is out of balance, especially for a twin flame relationship, that's going to be a no-go. That's going to be a big impediment in your relationship. So what I wanted to mention about twin flame relationships, twin flames, okay? This is the idea that you share the same soul. Now, it could be that you share the same soul, or it could be that your souls are very complementary and they're sort of like two puzzle pieces and they fit together. That's how I kind of prefer to look at it, because you have your own soul, but you're two puzzle pieces that go perfectly together. You're two halves of the whole. Think of yin and yang, right? You just go together. And when two parts come together, you want to make sure that you're presenting the purest version of yourself, the highest version of yourself. Because if there's anything, any baggage that you're still holding on, that is going to, like I said, come in the way of really coming into a nice union with the other person. You understand? You're going to come in with your own blocks, with your different insecurities that you're going to have to work out. Because if you hold on to those insecurities, that is eventually going to tarnish your any potential for, you know, love and general growth in your relationship. Now, don't be so hard on yourself. Everybody has insecurities, okay? And we're human, and, you know, it's a slow and steady process. We're not perfect. If we were perfect, we wouldn't be here, right? But you can't just say, okay, I run away when there's an issue, and so deal with it. That's who I am. No, that's not going to fly. If you want to be in another relationship, you want to be in any other kind of relationship, maybe that's fine, okay? But in a twin flame relationship, that's never going to fly. It's like, I'm sorry, okay? If I am going to come into perfect union and alignment with you, and that twin flames are very connected spiritually, I don't want your insecurities to then affect me, because I'm going to feel those insecurities, and then they're going to affect me, and my insecurities will affect you. So you understand, if the thing is, well, I run away whenever there's an issue, you got to work on that, because that's not going to be good for your overall growth, and it's not going to be good for the growth of the other person either. Ooh. So that, and last thing I want to say about twin flames, because of wanting to come together in this loving union, are naturally going to challenge each other, okay? A twin flame relationship is not for the faint of heart. You will challenge each other, okay? You are going to get under each other's skin. Because imagine if you were to come face to face, and it's not yourself, but just imagine this, okay? Since you do share the same, you know, pattern, or you're supposed to go together in some way, shape, or form. Imagine if you were to come face to face with yourself. You would start to see yourself a lot more clearly, and all of the bad tics about yourself would get on your nerves because that would be a reflection of you. Right? So the other person's tics are a reflection of you, and vice versa. So that is why the other person's going to challenge you. And it's not necessarily selfish, because they want you to be the best that you can be, and they have to be the best that they can be, so that you guys can come together. I keep saying that. I don't like to be redundant, so I'm sorry that I keep repeating, come together, but that is what your goal is in your relationship. It is to come together and to work on your insecurities. All right, that was a beautiful, beautiful reading. I hope you enjoyed it. And yeah, if you liked my video, feel free to give it a like. Comment what you think if it resonated down below. Subscribe if you feel drawn to do so, share, and I wish you a wonderful rest of your day. Hello, number 2. So here we are with your reading. I'm really excited so far. First thing I want to say in relation to the crystal that you chose, chrysoprase is all about healing old childhood wounds. So, you know, before you even think about, you know, moving forward in your existing relationship or a relationship that you would like to attract to you, you know, really want to think about healing your own childhood wounds and working on that. Not that you can't do it simultaneously, but you have some significant childhood wounds or patterns that you saw within your own upbringing, household, that you are ultimately imitating, and you need to learn how to fix those sort of broken patterns that don't serve you anymore. Now, the other thing is that this actually might be more related to your, you know, significant other, either current or that you'd like to bring in. They, I'm going to use the pronoun they, because I don't know if your person is a he or she, or however they would like to express themselves. They have gone through significant trauma. So if you're wondering why they're not maybe contacting you right now or talking to you, it's because they're just, for lack of a better word, they're just really freaked out. They're going through stuff, psychological, a lot of psychological stuff to do from their past, and they're just worried that they're just really worried whenever they get too close to someone. Because when they get too close to someone, then it's really a question of true commitment, right? And then you really have two people coming together who have to now be vulnerable completely to each other. So it's fine when everything's, you know, just light and fluffy, but then after anything further down the line, it's like, oh no, and then there's sort of a trigger effect, right? They get kind of triggered and they go off into their own space. So that might be the case for you or for the other person. All right, so let's get into the message from your cards. So here I have, I love this deck so much. So the Fairy Tale Oracle. Okay, and I've posted the link to Amazon to get the deck in the description. This is probably one of my favorite decks. I love fairy tales. I will say as a disclaimer that fairy tales, if you're not familiar with the original Brothers Grimm fairy tales, in particular, they were quite dark. You know, violent, sexist, you know, you have it. And it was a reflection of the times, of the time period. Disney made them into very like fluffy and now empowering, right? With women being at the center. That aside, the cards are gorgeous. The stories are really beautiful, regardless if you can take them for what they are with a grain of salt. And we are going to extract some messages from those fairy tale stories and relate them to your love situation. So here is the deck that I'm going to shuffle for you now. And we're going to pull stuff out. And this one really wants to come out, so we're going to do that. And then I'm going to shuffle a little bit more. And okay. Whoops, I didn't. Okay. And okay. Let's see what we got. We got one really intense card. Interesting. Interesting, interesting. So you have, I love this card. This is so pretty. Fairy Ointment, the Sight. Then you have Fairies and Words. I absolutely love this one too. I love the drawings with the, who's the Jasmine Beckett Griffith, who does all these girls with the big eyes. Then we have the Juniper Tree, Deception. This one's super badass. Take a look. There's like war and destruction behind the skull, and she has a big, I don't know what in her hand. Anyway, there's like blood coming from her, I think. It's pretty intense. Her eyes are red. Whoa. So, I mean, just by looking at the images, I'm sure that that image in itself, especially with the word deception, might be triggering. So my plants, no, I shouldn't blame my plants. I decided to put the cards here. My plants are, they love being in these readings. Yes, I do believe that plants feel and understand more than we know. Okay, that's me babbling. We can talk about that later if you're interested. Okay, so what do we have here? Can we see all of that? Yes. Whew, really, really, really heavy. What I'm downloading right now, just looking at deception, you, my dear, were so badly hurt. Your family situation, you might have seen some really nasty arguments, some really just traumatic, one parent cheating on the other parent, okay? One parent leaving, or just finding out, you know, things about your family, secrets that you know, sort of gave you a tower moment in your life where it just turned you upside down. You thought everything was hunky-dory, and then all of a sudden you find something about, you know, a parent or family member, and it's like, what? They were involved in what? You know, and it just, or some dark secret. And this is a big fear. This is a big fear. Now I feel like it can go either way. So take what resonates. This could be you, or this could be the other person. Now, what I'm getting in this particular reading, and if this is not the case, then, you know, maybe you want to pick on 1 or 3, or it might not be the case for you, but the other messages apply. So just take what makes sense. But what I'm getting is the majority of you are in a relationship. Are in a relationship, I'm going to use are present, even if the person is not literally in the relationship with you, or you kind of saw each other and then the person is like, I don't want to see you right now, I'm not ready. So I'm going to call that still in a relationship, even if you just met, but or the person's kind of in the relationship, kind of not, right? It's sort of a limbo up and down. I'm going to say that because that person is still present, okay? You've still exchanged energy with the person. You have an imprint of their energy in yours, and your mental energy is still focused on this person. Their mental energy is also equally focused on you. What I'm getting, and this could pertain to a past relationship that you feel is really over, if that's the case. But so this is what I see, okay? I don't want to get too dark and deep just yet, but there were some nasty words exchanged, some really hurtful, nasty words exchanged. And it left you just sort of breathless. But the thing is that at the beginning, you specifically to them were like a sight for sore eyes, just this gorgeous vision of, you know, dazzling beauty and elegance and just everything. And everything was just lovely and gorgeous and, you know, rose-colored glass. You had your rose-colored glasses on. You couldn't see each other's imperfections. It was just beautiful. And then maybe things got a little serious and you both, or at least one of you, drifted off and got scared, okay? Got scared of the past repeating itself. So what I'm getting is either both or one of you are really trapped in your head, and you see like these illusions. It's like something could happen in real time in front of you, but you don't see it because all you see is a repeated incident in your head. It's like you have it on replay, and it's like the mind of the person in question, whether that's you or the other person, is just totally almost brainwashed in a sense, in the cyclical pattern of, you know, the same neural connections firing out the same sort of memories back and forth, and that's all you kind of see, and you sort of have like, and I'll show you what I mean. I'm going to bring this card forward. I always feel this with this card. So in this case, see how her eyes are kind of glossy? It's like there's a film in front of them, and, you know, she can't fully see what's in front of her. And that's kind of what I feel in this situation. Either one or the other or both are not really fully seeing what's in front. So, you know, maybe somebody says something and you interpret it the wrong way, and it's like, what? I didn't say that. And it's like, yes, you did. And then it's like, oh my God. And then it's just this argument that never ends, and it's overwhelming and exhausting. You kind of just feel like, in a way, sometimes you just want to give up on each other, but at the same time, you keep being pulled back to each other because you keep remembering this initial period of love and beauty. And here's the thing. Okay, for those of you who, you know, this refers to a past relationship and you feel that this is over, what I'm getting really is that you are going through, whether it is a past relationship or as a relationship that you're in limbo with right now, and that will be coming towards you back, you know, maybe an ex coming back or something like that. You're going through a period of transformation, you in particular, okay, right? So we have with the fairy ointment, we have this girl who has these butterfly wings, fairy with butterfly wings, and she's coming into this period of metamorphosis. I love that word. Metamorphosis, transformation. All right, you're the caterpillar right now, and everything seems slow for the caterpillar, right? You know, you're in this cocoon. How long are you going to be in this cocoon? You want to be like the other pretty butterflies fluttering around. And, you know, is it going to happen? When is it going to happen? Oh, right. It's not so much a question of when. Because if you focus on the when, then you're going to feel very frustrated indeed. It's not a question of when. This is more a question of how. Or how do you transform into this butterfly? You have got to get back in touch with yourself. I hear for a lot of you in reference to words with fairies, the girl with this sort of film over her eyes, if you will, you're having a hard time seeing situations clearly right now, so you need to write things down. Write things down on your phone. I'm feeling a significant amount of you are good writers. You're good with your words. You're good at journaling. You like to write stories. Whether you write a story or you journal or you just write some notes down, this will help to organize some of your thoughts. You can do a pro and con list. You can just write poems and get your thoughts out, get your feelings out. You can even write, you know, things that you would like to manifest into your life. And I'm feeling strongly that you have the power to manifest what it is you want towards you through your writing and through your words. And on a side note, you may want to look into automatic writing as one of your potential intuitive abilities. Okay, which is the ability to channel from your higher self or spirit into words. Some people with a really intense automatic writing are literally like spirit takes hold of their hand and physically moves it, and then you like move your hand and write stuff out. Okay, my great grandmother had an experience like that, one experience like that. I could imagine that would have been maybe kind of intense and a little overwhelming and scary. For most people, I think automatic writing, right, there's a gradient, there's a varying degree. It's more a question of you tuning into these messages that you're channeling, and then you are writing them down. It's just the messages are coming into your mind. So it works differently for different people, but look into that, automatic writing. So certainly, there's just a lot of fear right now. And it's interesting because you're asking about love, but it's almost like it's almost like you're focusing on the wrong thing. If you focus on the other person, you're going to totally miss the point. It's not so much about the other person for you. It's about you. You are the caterpillar turning into the butterfly. You are the one who is eventually, even though the wait is long and annoying, you just want to fly already, you know that it's going to happen. All caterpillars turn into butterflies. So if you're a caterpillar, it's not a question of it not happening. It's not a question of you not attracting this love into your life. It's never a question of that. It's not a question of, oh, will I ever? Of course you will. You know, I want to give you kind of a big duh. Of course you will. It's more of a question of how can you foster your own unique talents and abilities in order to metamorphosize and transform into the person that you are? Because I can assure you that once you do so, you are going to be a sight for sore eyes for everyone. I will get more information for you on, I feel, you know, if someone's coming back. I feel like that's a question a lot of you have. But other than that, I think that this is more a question of you just metamorphosizing into the beautiful being that you are. And by doing so, you're just going to attract a lot of potential suitors in general. So it's interesting because for you, as far as love is concerned, if you're in a relationship, then the transformation refers to you transforming and you transforming and then healing the relationship for the both of you. Okay, it could be a transformation of your love. If you're single, then it's a question, if you're single or separated, it's a question more of you transforming, and then all of a sudden there's all of these potential suitors who are attracted to you and who want to get to know you a little bit better. But for those of you who have a specific question in mind of will he come back, or you know, how about instead I ask more generally, who is coming to you? Because I'm gonna pull out a card to say who is coming towards you, and then see if that description matches, you know, the person in question. Obviously, if you're single, you don't have to worry about that because you're just open to whoever. But yes, let's take a look. Let's take a look at who is coming towards you in love, okay? So I'm going to take my very reliable, you know, nothing exciting tarot deck that I love because the answers are always super on point and very direct. Who is coming to you? Okay. Okie dokie. Let me do one more. Let me get some more. Who's coming towards you? Who's coming towards you in love? Who's coming towards you in love? Okay, I'm really not getting an actual... Oh, nice and nice. Yes. Yes. Okay. I have a bunch of cards for you. I'll show them to you individually. Okay, this one wants to come out. This one confirms, once again, if you're in a relationship, not only is the relationship going to blossom and flourish into something absolutely beautiful, okay, but it will, you will also attract a lot of other people. So your significant other better watch out because you're going to be a hot tamale. Now, Queen of Swords. Again, oh, look at that. Okay, sorry for the blurriness. I always have to work on that one. The butterfly transformation, right? So you are transforming, and the person that you are transforming into, whether you're a guy or a girl, okay, whether you're a guy or a girl, I'm just talking about the qualities that you're going to express. You are transforming into a very intuitive, sharp, extremely just confident and knowledgeable and just almost very like intimidating, sizzling presence. Like when people see you, it's not just you physically that's going to stand out as the attractive person, very, very, very attractive person that you are. You're also super attractive because of your mind. Your mind has its own energy, and that energy definitely has an imprint on the way you act, the way you move, the way you speak, right? Consider that. So when someone falls in love with your mind, it's not that, you know, how could they fall in love with my mind if they don't speak to me or whatever? Well, your mind has an impact on everything about you, right? So you come across as very intellectual, very knowing, very, I don't know why I'm hearing the word distinguished, but take it for what it is. you come off just truly like a queen, you know, like you walk into a room and everyone's like, oh, who's that? And what does he, she have to say about this? You know, you come off as someone who knows what you're doing and who knows what you're talking about. You're just very, very sharp, very intelligent, very, you know, when you think of a typical queen, like you have this very queenly presence. So that's who you're transforming into. You are already that person. Woe and woe and woe and woe and woe. Okay? The Emperor. If you get the Emperor as your significant other, number one, he may be an Aries or a Capricorn, but not necessarily the case. I'm seeing the little, I look for symbols too in cards. I like to look visually at the cards to see symbols, and then I also feel for information. I'm doing all kinds of things at the same time, but I just want to let you in on kind of what I'm doing. So it's not a mystery, but very intense energy coming through. When you have an Emperor coming through, this is like the person that just like turns your world upside down, that totally rocks your world. You may have already met this person, and if not, this is the person that is coming towards you. Super, like, strong-minded. I'm getting physically very strong, just also very intimidating. But you are going to attract this person because you yourself carry a similar signature, energy to you. And they will see you as their equal, and they will seek you out. This is someone who I see is very sought after as well. Not only are you sought after, but this other person is sought after, very popular with, I'm hearing the opposite sex and the same sex, okay? It's like whether this person is homosexual or not, they attract the same sex, okay? Whether this person is heterosexual or not, they attract the opposite sex. You see what I'm saying? So this person attracts everybody. It's like this person is honey, right? This person is honey to the world. This person will be your honey. And this person is very stable, very solid. Once they are present, once they are in your life for sure, they're not going anywhere, extremely loyal. You're their queen. Okay? The Lovers. If you couldn't get a better card, right? This is total confirmation for just this wonderful, amazing union that you are coming into. And if you're not familiar with the concept of twin flames, it's interesting because pile 1 also had that twin flame energy. I feel like this is also your twin flame as well. Okay, look up the term twin flame to get a little bit more idea, a little bit more of an idea about it. But the Lovers also talks about a choice. Okay, it can be interpreted as having to make a decision. So I interpret this as you are going to be having many options and choices of suitors, okay? But you know that you're only interested in one. They're going to be interested in you. Okay, Judgment. Judgment Day has arrived. You guys are coming into this period of beautiful transformation, both you and the other person. If this person isn't in your life, it's because they're also going through a similar experience of transformation as you. You're going to be really transforming your inner self. It's like, I almost feel like incinerating yourself, like burning to the ground anything that doesn't serve you, like super, super intense in order for this union to come together. You guys are going through a total metamorphosis and transformation. And Judgment's always a nice card because it says that whatever it is that you deserve, you will get, kind of thing. Like whatever it is that you've been wanting, it's like the judgment is always objective, and in your case, it's usually a very good indication of yes, that things will turn out in your favor. That yes, judgment is being made in favor of you. So you are going to come into the best possible communion with another being as anyone could ever hope and dream for, right? Like, you're going to be the envy of so many around you, just because everybody looks for that kind of love, right? And you're going to get it. So the Six of Pentacles, this one's an interesting one to me. This may feel like, oh, okay, I'm getting a few things. You may start a family with this person. You may already have a family with this person, or this person could be a family friend, okay? If it's not, this person is going to feel like family. You're going to feel at home with this person. It's going to be like, oh, yes, there you are. Where have you been, right? So this person will feel very much like family if he, she isn't already your family, as in, like, if you're not already married or been with, you know, common law or whatever. Okay, so then you have the Seven of Wands. You're hearing all this. This is very interesting because this is not talking about, you know, what's coming in towards you. Yes. Okay, so this is the message that I'm getting from this card. As you are hearing all of this, you're like, nah, I don't think so. This is too good to be true. I really don't think so. My life has been an uphill battle. I've been struggling, and, you know, I don't see how this is going to come about. You know, have patience with yourself, because I'm here to reassure you that, yes, great, great, great happiness is coming your way, in love, right? With your amazing significant other. So don't worry so much about the how and the when. It will happen when it's ready to happen, but it will happen sooner than you think. Just continue going about your day-to-day. Continue doing you. Your focus is not in the other person. It seems counterintuitive, doesn't it? It's like, well, I want a relationship, or I want this relationship to grow. Shouldn't I be going after this person? Well, actually, no. It's the opposite. This is the time for you to go within yourself, take your caterpillar moment in your cocoon, and really heal your inner wounds. And once you do so, you're going to metamorphosize into the butterfly that you are. Not only will you attract a lot of people to you romantically, but you will come into the perfect union with your twin flame counterpart. So that's what I have for you. Very, very beautiful reading. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, I would love it if you can give the video a like. It would really help me out. You can share the video. Feel free to subscribe if you feel drawn to do so, or comment down below. I hope to see you soon, and I wish you a beautiful, beautiful day. Bye. Hello, number 3, with this gorgeous no-name crystal. Okay. Let's hop right away into your reading. All right, so we're going to start off with the Fairy Tale Oracle. And this is one of my favorite decks ever. I love it so much. Basically, it's a compilation of different fairy tales from the Brothers Grimm and Hans Christian Andersen. And, you know, there's lessons for each fairy tale. The drawings are by Jasmine Beckett Griffith. The descriptions are by Lucy Cavendish. Anyway, I'll link I have linked the, I'm losing my words now. The link for, you know, if you want to purchase them on Amazon. Okay, below in the description. All right, anyway, let's get into it. So I'm going to shuffle the cards for you, and then we're going to pull out 3 for your love life. 1, 2, and 3. Okay. Ooh. 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 So you have 3 cards. I'll show you them one at a time. You have the Children of Lear or Lyre. I'm not sure if it's Lear or Lyre. I kind of prefer Lyre, so I'm going to say that. Lyre. Lyre. It sounds almost Irish. I don't know. Voice. Maybe it is Irish. Is it an Irish fairy tale? Might be. I have to look that one up. I'm not as familiar with that one. The Poisoned Apple. Jealousy. Okay, so Snow White, right? And this one I find fascinating. It's not a story that I've ever heard of before I got this deck, but the Light Princess Ungrounded. So I'm going to place your cards here, and I'm going to talk about them. Yay, talking about stuff. All right. Can you see that? I hope you can. All right, good. You, first of all, you battle with feelings of jealousy and envy. Now, this is a total side note, but if you're not familiar with the difference between jealousy and envy, jealousy gets misused all the time. Envy is what people are actually trying to say. You're not jealous of someone, you're envious of someone. Envy is wanting something you don't have. Jealousy is being afraid that something that you already have is going to be taken away from you, right? That's why people say, he guarded his treasure jealously, right? But that meaning has gotten misconstrued over time, and we now use jealousy as envy. So what I'm getting for you as far as jealousy is concerned is you're afraid. Some of you are just afraid that you're going to lose someone. Someone, you know, the relationship's not going to work out. Someone else is going to take your relationship. Possibly someone else is with the person that you're eyeing, and you're feeling very, you know, jealous of them, like you would like to keep them, okay? Maybe they were initially interested in you, and now they're interested in someone else. It's like you want this person for yourself, and so there's a lot of frustration and sadness and feelings of lack of love here, okay? Lots of feelings of lack of love. What I'm getting for some of you is some of you may have children together. For others of you, you are acting like children, not necessarily you by yourself, but you together. Like when you come into connection with this other person, you guys kind of bring out the worst in each other at times, and your emotions are very erratic and all over the place. You're very ungrounded, you know, and you start to act a little bit like children. The other thing that I'm getting for you guys is that this relationship that you have, if you are in a relationship, I'm going to speak to the singles in a moment. If you are in a relationship, or you had a relationship and you're sort of in limbo with this person, this is something that needs to mature and develop. Okay, I'm going to show you kind of, I like to show where I get these inspirations from, or these impressions, okay? I get them from visually looking at the cards and from downloading information intuitively, all kinds of things. But in this case, this is what I get by looking at the swans here, right? Do you remember the story of the ugly duckling? Right, everybody thought that the duckling was so ugly they didn't know it was going to be a swan, and then when the duckling was turned into a swan, everyone said, hey, you're not a duck, you're a swan, you're gorgeous, right? So this relationship needs maturing, okay? You're both, I almost feel like you both need to give each other some space is what I'm getting. In order for the relationship to really develop and mature. One of you left, one of you went off and left, and the other one's by yourself, and it's just like, you know, what's happening here? What you need to do is to really focus on, you know, letting that other person go if they need to go, and then and if you're single, this also applies to you as well. You're just grounding your energy. So something within your energy needs to mature, okay? You may be very young if you're watching this and why can't I speak? Oh, goodness, I'm so sorry. You may be very young yourself. And so if I say to you and you're very young that you need to mature in order for, you know, to really attract this relationship towards you, that's totally normal, right? That's totally normal, because, you know, if I think of my younger self, I was mentally in a very different headspace than I am now. Maturing is a life process, okay? I think that people should continue to mature even well into old age, right? And not everybody does. But if you're very young, this makes total sense. If you're not young and you're, you know, you're older, you're in your 20s, you're in your 30s, or older than that, it could just be a reminder for you that you really need to check some of your emotional expressions with this other person, because it's almost like I said, you bring out the worst in each other, and you don't like that kind of version of yourself, and it's not so much that if the other person brings out the worst in you, that is important, although uncomfortable. It's important to recognize that side of yourself, because that side is sort of pushed under the covers, lying dormant within you, and it comes up because you need to address those issues within you. You need to find a way to become more grounded. I always advocate for spending time in nature to ground your energies. You know, all of the basics. People really don't realize how a lack of sleep really affects your mood, affects your personality, affects how you get along with others, everything. It's incredible. So you need more sleep, you need to eat healthy foods, you need to have a lot of water. All of this can help to ground your energy. So that's what I'm getting here, is that in order for this relationship to work, if you are in a relationship, you really need to work on grounding yourself. Don't worry about the other person. The other person doesn't ground themselves. You're not responsible for that other person. You know, if they choose to ground themselves as well, that's how this relationship can work and come together. Okay? But once you've done the work, hey, you're going to attract the right person regardless. Regardless. As tough as it is to hear that sometimes, okay? And that doesn't mean that it's not possible with this person. It's just that you need a growing, there needs to be a growing process on both ends. If you start to work on it for yourself, you will inspire the other person to do it as well. If you're totally not in a relationship, this just speaks to the fact that you need to find a way to ground your energy, because your energy is a little sporadic right now, okay? And this comes from many things. It comes from feeling unworthy, it comes from inner insecurities, and you need to remember something really, really important. Number one, you may be envious of others or jealously wants, you know, to guard what you already have, but other people are also looking at you. I think you don't see how much you have in your life. A lot of people look at you and they say, wow, you know, this person has so much, I wish I had that. And love starts with, I know it sounds cheesy, but it starts with gratitude, just being grateful for what you have. The more you feel grateful for what you have, the more your vibration is going to be higher, the more you're going to have a positive energy around you. And positive energy is going to only attract positive people, situations, etc. You've heard of like attracts like. So in this case, this is very, very true for you, where if you keep a high vibration, you will attract high vibration back in the form of love, in the form of happiness, in the form of fulfillment, in the form of just relaxation and feeling good in your own skin and who you are, right? A lot of people look at you and they think, oh my, oh my gosh, he, she is so, handsome, so beautiful. I really just want to, I want to be with this person. Even I'm hearing that other people, you don't realize that you have secret admirers. That's what you're ignoring. There are other people who look at you and they, but you're like, I don't care. I don't want to be with those people. It's not, I understand. It's not so much about being with those people, but it's about, acknowledging that you are beautiful, handsome in and of yourself. And so it's about appreciating your worth and what you have to offer, and understanding that you're only going to grow in beauty and charm the more you put that love back into yourself, and the more you ground your emotions, the more you ground yourself and look for stability in your day-to-day, the more you will feel confident, and the more you will attract just positivity back to you. So I'm going to look now at the very handy-dandy, nothing, too exciting tarot deck that always gives me great advice and great information. So you got a lot of cards coming up. We're going to look at all of them for you. Wow. Okay. Very interesting. So this came up in the last second pile. So for some of you may want to look at pile number 2, because the same card came out in pile number 2, and you might get more kind of a bigger picture if you are drawn to pile number 2. If you're not drawn to, or crystal number 2, if you're not drawn to crystal number 2, the Emperor is just this confirmation that the love of your life, whether in your life or not, is going to be the one. And again, I'm getting twin flame. You're going to attract your twin flame, or if you're already attracted to your twin flame. It's incredible. Every single reading has been about twin flames. I guess I'm attracting a lot of high vibe people, I suppose. That's awesome. So remember, you yourself, you're a high vibe. You are a very high vibe person, and you are going to attract this other, this other half, the other half to you. So if this person isn't in your life, he, she will be in your life, and has this very strong Emperor presence and energy to him, her. Okay, you got the 5 of Cups. This talks about basically the very cut and dry message of the 5 of Cups is stop crying over spilt milk. I know that sounds pretty harsh, and I'm sorry, it's a little bit of tough love. This reading is a little bit about tough love for you, and I hope that you don't feel offended, but basically the message is, hey, you're better than that. You're so much better. You're beautiful. You're handsome. You have so much going for you. If something little didn't work out, trust that if it's a person that was out of your life and you're like, oh my God, it's going to come back, maybe it's just not. This is maybe not the person for you, and you have someone better coming for you. If you really feel that this is the person, then maybe they're just taking a break, and you don't need to worry about it anyway, because the more you focus on grounding your own emotions, like I said, the right person will come back to you. So that's a very reassuring thought. The more you focus on grounding your own emotions, the right person will come back to you. And hello, hello, you got the World, my dear. The World is considered by many tarot readers to be the best card in the pack. It's all about completion, accomplishment, coming full cycle, getting exactly what you want, working hard throughout a long period to get to where you wanted to be, and now you're all of a sudden coming out triumphant and a champion. The champion of hearts, the champion of the world, and you're just, you're going to be attracted. You're coming into this beautiful, exuberant alignment with who you are, and everything's going to be balanced, and just coming into a lot of abundance and love. and self, not just love. Ooh la la. So yes, someone is coming towards you with some kind of an offer. They're coming towards you with their cup. They're offering their love. They're like, I don't have much, but this is what I have. And, you know, I would love to be part of your life. Will you take me, kind of thing? And this is going to be an honest person, a romantic person, a sincere person, someone who has your best interest at heart. And when this person comes back to you, whether it's someone you know or someone you don't, they will be fully ready to embark on this relationship with you. You've worked very, very hard. You've sowed your seeds, and now you're reaping the rewards and the benefits. The Eight of Pentacles talks about, of course, 8 is always linked to success through hard work and achievement. So you are coming into this successful, very, 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 holy moly, very successful period in your life. I'm going to fan out the cards. So you can take a look. I'm getting that you're very intuitive yourself and that you just need a minute to draw in your own insights from the cards. So I'm not going to say anything. I'm going to do something a little unconventional, and hopefully you can see all those cards. And I'm going to allow you to just give you that space to extract your own messages. Beautiful. So I don't know why I feel called to tell you this. When you watch pick a card videos, don't just listen to what the tarot reader has to say, me included. Pay attention to the messages that you get from the cards. I would even pause the videos and then just, so you don't hear the person talking, and then you just see what kind of messages that you get yourself. Because you could read tarot if you wanted to, I'm hearing. You're very intuitive. If you're interested, I don't know. You may not be, but you have the capacity to do so. And yeah, just don't, always take what other people say with a grain of salt. I feel called to tell you this. And I feel called to tell you that while you look at other people giving you readings and you see the cards, make sure to also extract your own intuition of what you see, because your intuition's at the end of the day going to be the strongest, and it doesn't matter how good the psychic or the reader is. They can be the most amazing psychic and reader in the world, but you will always pull in information that that person will miss. There will always be something. That's what I find to be true when I talk to a psychic or a tarot reader. There's always something that the person misses because that person isn't you. So if I didn't say something or address something in particular, and you'll know what I'm talking about, see if you can look at the cards that are sitting right there in the plants, and see if you can extract your own intuition from just looking at the cards. The messages are always correct, but the interpretation is always going to vary depending on how the interpreter's style, how intuitive that person is, etc. So I hope that makes sense. Anyway, you have a lot of good things coming to you. Nothing to worry. You're worrying for nothing. Stop crying over spilt milk. You've got a lot of beauty and a lot of love in you, and you've got a lot of beauty and love coming towards you. You just might need a little bit more patience to allow things to develop and grow and mature. And remember to take care of yourself, drink water, get some sleep. Get at least 8 hours, I'm hearing, of sleep. You're getting more like 4 or 5, a lot of you. This is not enough. This is not enough. I used to do that sometimes, and I thought I was a super woman. But then when I started getting more sleep, I noticed a vast difference in my energy levels, my mood, everything changed for the better. So please make sure you get sleep. That was like a very intense, please make sure you'll get sleep. I feel like everything is going to make more sense to you. You're going to have more clarity and peace of mind when you do. But you have a lot of things to look forward to. This was a gorgeous reading. I hope you liked it too. If you did, I'd appreciate a like or a comment down below to see if, tell me if it resonated. Feel free to share the video, and of course subscribe if you feel drawn to do so. Otherwise, I hope you have a wonderful day. Thank you so much for tuning in. I look forward to seeing you again. Bye.